Hey guys, this is a video that's been a little bit long overdue. So the Guild Wars, the War of Mana, changed a little bit recently, and now we kind of have a better idea of the best strategy to score high, and so I'm going to go into a little bit of that. I want to start by saying this is the real way to play it, or the right way to play it is extremely time intensive. So if you're not looking to really place number one overall or something, mostly it's just not worth the time to play. But for those people that want to kind of have fun with it, here's the best way that I found to do it. What they did change is that it used to cost you a stamina to attack and then a stamina to evacuate, and then you would have to spend the stamina to resettle your team. They removed the stamina cost for evacuating, and so now it really lends itself to a run and gun style of play. So, step one is, do you fight the bosses? The answer is you should be trying to hit the bosses as often as you can. Now, I can't show you on that boss, but there are 3 levels of bosses. Each one, the first boss, obviously, you can only use 6 to 10 stars. Second boss, you can use all heroes 6 to T4, 6 star to T4, and the third boss, you can only use 10 stars to T4. The first boss gives you 180 guild points per, or gems, we'll call it guild, I don't know, mana gems per hit. The second boss gives you 220, and the third boss gives you 260. So the real math is, would you gain more from hitting the boss than you would from attacking other teams and interrupting them? And for the most part, the answer is yes. When you raid a team, let's say I look at this one, they've got 174. If I attack it, you get 15%, which is 26. So in order for someone to do better for you than even the first boss, which is 180 for 2 stamina, you have to get more than 90 per this. And that's not always easy to find. If I go through and look, I may not find any one that I can hit that even has 90 to take. In fact, you can see that almost none of them do. So the answer is really yes, you should be hitting the boss every chance you get. Now, the first 2 bosses tend to die very quickly. They tend to often be in respawn. So yes, you're going to want to try and camp that and get some crystals for hitting them, but you may miss out on being able to hit the first 2 every now and then. And even the third one, if you have a very active cluster, is going to be dead a lot. But yes, hitting the bosses as frequent 2 times per day each is very worth it. And now here's what you want to do with the rest of it. You're gonna want to make sure that you're always settling on 3. So you can see here that I've got 3 teams settled. I've got 1, 2, 3. And the problem is that if somebody comes in and sabotages you and hits you and leaves, something like you can see here, they hit one person and then they left, and then they did it to every single one of these, you have to stay on top of it. So you have to always make sure that you are keeping your 3 teams settled. Now, unless you've got very strong teams, your best goal is to set 1 or 2 very strong teams, and the rest of them either can be used to antagonize other people, or you can go and settle down in a lower tier zone for slightly less overall gain, but at least you will actually gain crystals. If you can settle here and get part of 6,300, it's certainly better than leaving your team in your bag and not getting anything. So if you don't have a whole lot of strong teams, then you will want to settle at least in the middle area. So your goal is always to have 3 teams settled for as long as possible. And when one of your teams gets knocked out, or you empty your thing of crystals, that's when you go attacking other people. So part of it is earning for yourself, part of it is sabotaging everyone else. So you're going to go and you're going to be like, oh, well, I'm only settling 2. I've got 1 team left. I'm going to go find one of these fully settled ones. I'm going to attack them, take whatever I can get, which is in this case only 68. But it stops all 4 of them from gaining crystals. So you're holding them back while gaining a little bit for yourself. And in this one, I would get 26. I probably wouldn't bother. This one, you would at least get 90. So this one would be worth it, totally. to waste a stamina, knock them out, stop them from gaining it, get yourself 90, and go. Now, the ranking is obviously very difficult to place in, unless you are the type that is actively playing this every hour, every couple of hours, because you get 1 stamina per hour. Unless you are actively planning to watch this every few hours, you pretty much won't be getting super high individual rankings. You can kind of just hope that your guild does good, that the rest of your force does good, because it really is a team game and you can't do anything on your own. So, summarize it all. Leave, hold towns as often as you can, and even if you're holding a town, even if you're holding 3 towns, you can still attack the boss. You don't need to actually leave a team to hit the boss separately. That was changed in a previous thing. You would have had to evacuate your team, hit the boss, and then resettle your team. You don't have to do that anymore. So leave 3 teams settled, attack the boss. When you have a team unsettled, go and disrupt the other factions, and then resettle back down. And try as often as you can to maybe share to your world chat or to your force chat and say, hey, I need help taking a node. We've got 2 people on this node and we need 2 more. So be a team player, work with your team, and try to do that. So I hope that this helps. There was previously, I was trying to figure out what the most efficient way to do it was, and I've settled on this as doing it. If you're choosing to completely abandon individual rewards, then you can play as a disruptor for your team and just completely ruin every other faction and prevent them from ever gaining anything. That's one way to play. It's not my favorite style, but, you know, everyone plays their own way. So I hope this helps, and see you guys next time.